Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and I'm going to give my initial reaction to tonight's UFC 264 event. Now, if you caught our preview video, Rob and I broke down the co-main and the main event, which in the co-main was Gilbert Burns and Wonderboy Thompson. Main event, Poirier and McGregor. We all know that. So, in essence, for the full recap, where we're going to break things down a whole lot more, I'm going to save the co-main event for that one because there was a lot of things that happened in that fight that were really good that I think Rob and I both are going to want to talk about. But let's talk about what happened in the main event where we had Dustin Poirier winning via stoppage at the end of the first round due to McGregor not being able to continue after hurting his leg and how he got there. So, if you watched the preview video, Rob and I did discuss what we thought we'd see. We thought we'd see Conor come out a lot more aggressive than he did in the in the fight in January, that being their second fight, the rematch, and really trying to get Poirier out early based on his style, which we call being a front runner, someone who is very, very strong and very hard to defeat during the beginning stages of a fight. And he was definitely showing that. One of the things that he came out that looked really impressive was he widened his stance back up. He got back into those kicks. And he was using that very effectively and was able to kick Poirier's legs a lot. However, when they started getting into those exchanges with the punches is where he began to get in trouble again. Conor's actions and his strikes were a lot more flashy. They drew a lot more attention from the crowd. Most of the crowd was there cheering for him, so they were getting the big reactions. However, the shots that Poirier was landed a lot more solid, a lot cleaner, and they had a lot more effect than what Conor was landing. And you could tell because when they started exchanging and he countered on him, he was knocking Conor back. So, as that starts to break down, they get into a clinch situation. Poirier's going for a takedown, and surprisingly, Conor goes for a guillotine. Looked really good. It was technically sound. Poirier, however, being a black belt, knew how to get out of it. And then that left McGregor in a very, very bad position, being under a highly skilled ground artist. There was a lot of hard elbows that Poirier was raining down on McGregor, on top of just his physical pressure being on top of McGregor and McGregor trying to fight him off. And watching this, I was like, this is the beginning of the end here. This is definitely not where Conor McGregor wants to be. Not for someone who is known for having terrible stamina, someone who is not known to be good on the ground. To be on the ground in the first round for several minutes is a terrible thing. And he was getting rained upon. Now, he did return a few good elbows, and there was one really good up kick where he got Poirier, and it looked like he stunned him for a second. But then Poirier went right back to those elbows, and it was not looking good for Conor or his army of loyal fans. At the end of the first round, they go for an exchange. Looks like Poirier lands a right hand, and Conor goes down. But then when you see the replay, it was really rough to look at. And my wife actually pointed it out to me when we were watching. She was like, "Oh, look at his ankle," and I was like, "Oh, what? When did that happen?" I was completely shocked. And then the stoppage comes. And though Rob and I picked Poirier to win, this was not the way that anyone expected nor wanted that win to happen. And also, it gives those diehard fans who probably did not see, they didn't see the writing on the wall. They didn't see how exhausted Conor was because they're so busy cheering for him. This gives them and Conor and out to say, oh, well, I didn't really lose because if it wasn't for my leg, I would have won. And it didn't look like that was going to be the case. If you look at the reality of the situation, it looked like it was going downhill fast for McGregor. And this was just a very terrible, unfortunate incident that happened in the octagon. And hopefully he can recover and it not end up being something a lot more serious than it needs to be. And maybe he can come back and fight some maybe like middle tier fighters to continue on and just be that man that he is to his fans. Because honestly, like at the top level, fighting those top level guys, I don't think that he should be messing with them anymore. Like he's got the money, he's got the fame. I don't think he has the same hunger that they have, and it's gonna be bad if he continues to fight those top tier fighters. So let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comment section. How did you feel the fight was gonna go? Who do you think was gonna win? And what do you think is going to be the future for McGregor? We know Poirier is going on to fight Charles Oliveira for the title. And if he wins that, I think the rematch is definitely out the window because there's no way that you give Conor McGregor a title shot after losing 2 in a row, 3 out of his last 4, and then giving him a shot at the title. So the ball is really in Dustin Poirier's court now as to where Conor McGregor ends up. So that's all I got for now. I'm going to watch the fight a couple more times, and then Rob and I will bring you that full recap where we break down the co-main and the main event and really get in depth on what we saw and versus what we expected to see in our preview video. So subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can get that. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Capital of Combat, and we'll see you all in the next video. Till then, fight on.